Hi everyone, it's Leanne DeSanto and I'm back in the park with Shiloh and we're taking a little break under our favorite tree. And today's lesson from Shiloh is about freedom. Watching her today just jumping and playing and chasing the ball, I just got this overwhelming feeling of just how free she looked. And it got me thinking in my life, geez, do I feel that free? And I wanted to ask you, how free do you feel in your life? Do you feel free to just be joyful and be playful and to just do the things that you want to do and be the way that you want to be? Or sometimes do you feel maybe trapped or maybe boxed in or caged or sometimes I hear the phrase, held hostage by your circumstances or by your time or it feels like the lack of time, or in a relationship or in your job or within your friends and family unit. How free do you really feel? And the funny thing about freedom is that we can create it. We can create it based on how we react, how we show up. It's not like we're never gonna maybe feel a little frustrated or a little overwhelmed or maybe a little boxed in based on our to-do list or things, the demands put on us, but it's really our reaction to it. And we can change just our thoughts around it, which will change our feelings around it, which will change our thoughts around it, which will change our feelings around it. It's a big circle, thoughts live in the head and feelings live in the body, so they're related. And I find that when I get in that, like, oh gosh, I'm so busy and frustrated, overwhelmed, or I get in that state, I go, okay, first of all, is it really as bad as we make it in our head? Usually it isn't. And, we have the power to change it. There's this great Eagles song that I love. It's called Already Gone. It's one of my favorites. And there's a line in there that says, so oftentimes it happens that we live our lives in chains and we never even know we have the key. And I love that. We have the key. And the key sometimes is just to change how we show up. We can show up in that same kind of victim-y, frustrated, oh, poor me state, or we can show up and say, you know what, this is the situation right now. I'm going to show up differently. I'm going to bring the joy. I'm going to bring gratitude. And then when we do that, the situation changes. If we're always kind of governed by our environment, what our environment's throwing at us, we're never really going to feel free. We're just going to feel a victim to what's happening around us, instead of us taking the lead and saying, I'm going to lead here. I'm going to make the decision and the choice to see this a different way. So that's my thought today. That's my challenge, is to just look at things a little differently. If you're feeling in kind of that bound, tied up, caged, gosh, I just feel trapped in my job or maybe in a relationship or maybe in my body because my health isn't where I want it to be, you can shift it. You have the power. And it's just really changing your thoughts around it and changing your feelings around it and showing up differently. And it's not always easy, maybe it's new. Sometimes staying in this particular state is comfortable and we just kind of live there, and when we're in that kind of victim mentality, we build a real strong ego, when we don't want to get out of it, and sometimes we feel like we want to stay there, but you're only really caging yourself when you do that. But when you step out and maybe you ask for help if you need it, and maybe give up a little bit of that control, and control can sometimes sound like a bad word, but we give up a little bit of that and say, you know what, I need help here, or I need just to see this a different way and bring the joy and bring a different attitude towards the situation. It will change. It will change and you'll feel more free. So that's my message today. It's 2016. Happy New Year. It's a new year. It's always feels like a rebirth when it's a new year. So it's time to really evaluate your life and say, okay, where do I feel free? Where do I maybe not feel so free? And how can I shift that for myself? So this is Leanne DeSanto. I hope you enjoy this message today and have an awesome day. Bye for now.